What is up, YouTube? It's your girl Neezy, and I had today off, so I was like, let me go record Baddies East episode 4 like I was supposed to do 2 days ago. And we're gonna get right into it. So last week we left off with Tasiki and Krishan confronting Natalie in the kitchen. Tasiki and Natalie don't even end up fighting because, of course, Natalie doesn't want to fight Tasiki because who would want to? I wouldn't either. So then Natalie is going to throw out her last lifeline and say that originally Krishan wanted the Baddies East cast to fight her sister, but then Krishan turned around and told her sister that she wants her sister to fight some of the Baddies East cast members that were talking online about her. So basically, Natalie exposed Krishan's double speak and how she's playing both sides. And that made Tasiki distrust Krishan a little bit, and she kind of backed off of Natalie's back. But at this point, the girls have been throwing stuff at Natalie, and Natalie is just sick of it. This scene was the most that Natalie has ever put her foot down on Krishan and talked back to her. You can tell at this point Natalie doesn't even want Krishan on the show anymore, but clearly Natalie doesn't have the power to boot someone off the show. No matter how much Natalie tries to gas herself up and say that this is her show, she has never been successfully able to kick somebody off of the Baddies. And there's only so long that I can stand to hear Natalie's damaged vocal cords start yelling. So we're gonna move on to the next scene. Natalie, Rolly, Will, Vicky, Scotty, and T stay behind in the old house, while the rest of the cast goes to the second house, which is the George Washington house. And the editor playing the trumpet marching music in the background took me out. But I actually like the house, and y'all can say whatever y'all want about this house, but you know these Americans love their daddy, George Washington. So this house honestly would run for millions of dollars in the housing market. Millions that some of us will never see in our lifetime. So I'm not complaining. Once they get ready and settled in, they make their way over to Club Karma. And when they get there, Krishan is the first one to hit the stage. And Natalie's starting to look around her and gets really uncomfortable because she sees Krishan's family and her friends all over the place. And she feels like she's being set up. Although we don't see any of Krishan's peoples approaching Natalie or getting close to Natalie, she feels like she's being set up and she gets scared and she decides to leave. And I don't like how, because Natalie decides that she wants to leave, security is going to start escorting the girls off the stage one by one. Like, I feel like you guys could have just left Natalie in the car and let the girls finish their performances. We did get to see Rolly and Mariah Lynn perform, and you can just see how excited the front row is when Mariah Lynn is performing. And from what I could tell, it looks like Mariah Lynn killed it. She was doing her little shuffle. And then by the time we got to T's performance, everybody was already off stage, minus T, Scotty, and DJ Sky. So all the girls are expected to make their way back to the buses. And this is where I get really pissed off, because you're going to tell me that after 4 seasons of recording Jocelyn's Cabaret, of recording 2 seasons of Bad Boys, we have 4 seasons of Baddies, that Zeus Network still doesn't know how to keep a camera rolling at all times just in case anything starts to pop off, because they stay giving us cell phone footage. And this time they didn't even give us cell phone footage. They just give us those little words on the screen, and they stay missing those moments that would give them more views and more income. So Zeus Network, y'all can keep taking L's. I really don't care. But I want my $5.99 back, because I would have loved to see how Tasiki was handling those girls on the bus. And let's get into how those girls shouldn't even have been on the bus in the first place. Like, what is security even good for? And this is why I said they keep letting Krishan be the only one that could break the rules, because you don't want strangers to be on the bus with other cast members, because you don't know what they got on them or what they plan to do. And this time, Krishan's friends planned to jump Tasiki. And then we cut to Tasiki crying in her confessionals, and I'm not gonna lie to y'all, that almost got me. I almost started crying too. I feel really bad for her, and that breaks my heart that she got betrayed by her own family like that. And then Zeus Network has the audacity to give Thing 1 and Thing 2 their own camera time and their own confessionals like their cast members. But I bet you they probably didn't even get paid for their appearances. And as far as Thing 1 and Thing 2, I don't know why they would even agree to be on camera in the first place, because first of all, they're ugly as hell. One looks like a bulldog in the face, and then the other one looks like a wet Yorkie. And then second, y'all know the internet's gonna come for y'all because you guys are not gonna get any brownie points for jumping Tasiki out of all people. Next, we cut to Roly and Smiley talking about the night before. And the rest of the episode is really gonna be the rest of the cast members talking about the situation that happened with Tasiki and Krishan and the minions. So Rolly and Smiley both agree that, yeah, like we need to stay out of family's business, which is good for them. And I agree with that. But my issue is that the whole sister situation just keeps getting put in their faces. And if I was a part of the cast, I would grab as many girls that would want to stand with me and go to production and complain because this isn't the Crazy in Love show. This is the Baddies. So whatever Tasiki and Krishan got going on, like that needs to be kept to a minimum. We don't need to hear them argue and bicker and fight every single episode. I even said on my first episode, this is why I don't want the sisters to be on the show together. If this is all we're going to get, like I'm good. I don't want it. So I'm sure things will get a lot better once Krishan leaves the show because I still do want to see Tasiki shine though. She definitely is a star and she has a lot of potential. And also going back on what I said in my episode 2 about Smiley and how there's still something weird about her. Rolly in her confessional basically says the same things that I say. Smiley is definitely hiding something, and I still do think that she is a plant for production. But I will give her this. She does have personality. She actually is really funny. And I feel like the more that we see her on camera of her just being herself, she also is a star and has a lot of potential. We then cut to Mariah and Tasiki and their conversation about the whole situation. And I just love Mariah in this scene because it's like, who needs sisters when you got friends like Mariah? And if Mariah wasn't so small, if she wasn't such a tiny woman, she would be unstoppable. She has a lot of fire in her and she's always down to fight. Now, I just hope with all of the Captain Save-A-Ho and all the defending that she's doing with Tasiki and whichever other girls in the future. I just hope that they have her back the same way that she has their back whenever Mariah will get into a fight with Smiley or whoever else down the line is gonna try to test Mariah. I just don't want her to cape for these girls and then nobody comes to her defense when she needs it because Mariah is too nice for her own good. And she's also gonna take it upon herself to mend the relationship between Tasiki and Natalie. So I don't know, maybe somebody can get her chain from Smiley back to her. In this next scene, we have Natalie explaining what happened to Wolvicki because Wolvicki, remember, she had stayed home because she was upset that Krishan had threw eczema cream at her. And Wolvicki was so quick to insinuate that Krishan isn't a real woman of God. And she just had me cracking up the whole time. Wolvicki says Jesus doesn't walk around just slapping people. And it's like at this point, Wolvicki, just say that you don't like Krishan. It's okay. Just say that you don't forgive her for what she did to you and that you don't like her no more. But instead, she wants to start preaching to cover up that she's talking bad about Krishan. Well, Vicky's really something else. We also cut to Camilla, Sky, Saya, and Anna Mac having a conversation in the kitchen. And I'm really loving Sky in these confessionals. I think she's so funny and so sexy, but you can definitely start to tell her age when she speaks. She just has like an old voice or an old way of delivering what she's saying. But anyways, they start talking about how the girls that were throwing eggs last night were from the auditions. And I already told y'all that you're not going to get on the show unless you know someone. So no need to be bitter that you didn't make the cut. I'm sure your audition was perfect, right? And I also thought that it was really telling when Anna Mac said that she had thought that she had got on the wrong bus because when she went into the bus, she saw girls that she didn't recognize. So she had walked over to another bus thinking that she got on the wrong bus. And this is another issue that I have with Zeus Network. Because first of all, you're supposed to have somebody escort you to where you're supposed to go so that you don't get lost and then you go to the right place. On top of that, you're letting non-cast members be on the bus, which is such a safety hazard. And at this point, nobody is caring for the safety of these girls on the show. And my thing is, why are none of the cast members complaining or speaking out about that? And in the previous seasons of Baddies, you know, the cast members had more of an agreement. Like when we go outside, no matter what beef we have with each other, it's always us versus them when we go out to the club. But we're definitely not getting that this season. There's some cliques here and there, but as a whole, there's no sisterhood between these girls. And y'all need to be keeping each other safe because security for sure is not going to do it. In this next scene, Mariah Lynn and Natalie are having a conversation in her bedroom. And guess who decides to call in? Now, if you watched my previous episode and you saw that my math only counted 14 girls, if you include DJ Sky, of course. So we were missing the 15th girl because Saya originally said that there were 15 girls. So now that Biggie is calling Natalie and telling her that she got 3 luggages and they're ready to go to move in, now I'm thinking for sure this was pre-planned. Maybe Biggie had some scheduling conflicts, or maybe it was even planned out from the beginning to hold off on Biggie joining the cast for whatever reasons they may have. But I just want to discredit the people that have been saying that Biggie was going to be a replacement on this show. It was definitely pre-planned that she was supposed to be there. And I don't know what Mariah Lynn has against Biggie or what their beef is, but I'm ready for Biggie to come through. I actually like her. When it comes to Biggie, people either like her or they hate her. There's no in between with her. But she's actually entertaining, and I just love to see these girls do their impressions of Biggie. Is always so spot on. Now in this next scene, we have Sky, Camilla, Anna, and Saya on the bus. And I'm only mentioning this scene because I just want to say, first of all, I really want to see Saya perform. And then we also get a confessional from Anna Mac saying that Saya is only there for the titties, which when you watch it, it doesn't really make sense with what they're actually saying on the bus. Like this confessional is just cut really weird. Now there's no doubt in my mind that Saya probably said something about maybe a cast member that she thinks she wants to hook up with or whatever. So the second thing that I want to say is that the editor needs to be showing us that part instead of Natalie and what happened last night for like the 17th time. I want to see more of the natural conversation that these girls have amongst each other and not just all about the drama. You need to have balance. So then they finally get to the first house to meet up with the rest of the cast members. And we were promised a fight from last episode's previews, and we still didn't get it. We got to see Natalie and Tasiki hash out their beef, which was nice to see, but I wanted to see the fight. And Zeus, y'all don't have to be leaving us on cliffhangers every single time. So let's get into the previews for next week. Hopefully, we'll actually get to see the fight. And I just wanted to point out something really quick. So what had happened was the light-skinned security guard on the right is the first one to start approaching the girls when they start fighting. And then my man Chris, who's on the left, has to, hold him back, right? Because he's kind of getting in the way and interrupting the fight. Like, why is he doing that? And then cut to when Tasiki's on stage performing. Do y'all see the way this man is staring at her? He just has the crazy eyes for Tasiki. You guys tell me if I'm reading too much into this, but he gives me the creeper vibes. Tasiki has to be careful around this man. Next, we get Tasiki decking thing to right in her face as she deserves. With the help of Mariah Lynn, of course. We also get Whoa Vicky. She started preaching to the wrong crowd. And then the minions come after her, which honestly I feel really bad about. This is another case of security not doing their job, and we're gonna get to see why Wolvicki filed the lawsuit that she has against Zeus Network. And then lastly, we have DJ Sky running up to Automac, which y'all already know how much I don't like DJ Sky. Everything she does is lame and she tries so hard to be tough, but you're really running up on Automac when she's having a conversation with Scotty. Like, Automac isn't even worried about you. She's not even looking at you. And then you do this. We'll talk more about DJ Sky on the next episode. So until then, please subscribe so you can be the first to see the next episode when it comes out. And I will see you then. Bye.